to his right. AD outstretched arm, great contest. Kid hit a tough shot.
You guys now 2 games in a row offensively in the second half. They've turned up. They've gone to a different place defensively. What weren't you guys able to get to against their adjustments, and what needs to change moving forward for you guys the second half?
Once we watch the game, we'll figure that out. Again, we played a solid basketball game. Defensively through 3 quarters. That's a tough team. Like you gotta come with it. You can't take any possession off. Ball gets knocked around, falls into Michael Porter Jr.'s hands. He hits a big 3 for them. So we got to be on deck at all times versus this ball club. Offensively, we got some good stuff. Brian had it going. D'Lo had it going from 3. We'll be better from this. Definitely be better from it. But they did what they were supposed to do. They held serve. Again, it's not the first to 1, 2, or 3. It's the first to 4. We just got to go home and do the same, starting with game 3.
Darvin, this was about, obviously, as heartbreaking the losses you can kind of have with the buzzer beater. You've been on the other side of that, I'm sure, other times in your career. What's the key to bouncing back in the next 72 hours and kind of just wiping the slate with this one?
Making it about the work and knowing that you still have abundance of life. You still have an abundance of life. But we got to make it about the work and keep it about the work. It's tough. Some tough calls, some tough non-calls. But, you can't use any of that as an excuse. You got to go out there and be ready to make plays, whether the whistle gets blown or not. It's getting real tricky. Go through the season, games being officiated one way, and then you get in the playoffs, and then it's like, I guess it's up left to the interpretation of the 3 individual guys that's doing the job out there. But all that said, you just have to know that, it stings. Remember this feeling as we take it back home to LA, and we got to give them that same feeling in game 3. We can't. That needs to be the sole focus. Recovery process has to start now. Let's filling our cups back up. But game 3, it's all about game 3 right now.
Darvin, AD had the 14 straight makes. I think a lot of those were on Jokic. They switched the coverage and had Gordon on him, and then he got in foul trouble and couldn't defend Jokic 1-on-1 as much. When that changed, what were you trying to see? What were you trying to get to? So AD guarding Jokic, right, wasn't able to as much of the foul trouble late, and then they switched the matchup to put Gordon on him after he was scoring so easily on Jokic.
Yeah, they're just trying to build. I feel like Aaron Gordon is their best defender, along with KCP, but especially along the front line. So, they did what we did. We wanted to put AD on him to start the game, and as much as possible. He wasn't allowed to. Anyway, so I can see that was their course of action in terms of putting Gordon on him.
As much as this game stings, how helpful was it to see D'Lo have the game that he had, making 7 threes and getting out the slump he's been in against this specific team over the past year or so?
Well, he did exactly what I thought he'd do. He had a tough shoot night game 1. He went back to the drawing board, put his work in, came out firing away tonight. It's a tough one to come up on the short end of the stick with because of that performance that he had beyond 3-point line. But it's playoff basketball, man. You separate yourself by doing it over and over and over again.